I wish I had 5 more years left with the staff, to put it in more simple terms. So they've helped me out tremendously off and on the field, and I'm just so blessed and thankful that I decided to come back.
Coach Kingsley mentioned the other day that you are one of the leaders, and they've counted on you for the whole offseason. So we'll skip that part because he expressed it well. But as a leader and somebody who's seen players come and go over the last 5 years, can you key in on somebody that you've seen has made tremendous growth between January and now, whether it's a new player or a return?
Yeah, I would definitely say Bryce, because if anybody knows anything about Bryce, he's very reserved. He doesn't like to talk. He's quiet, but he made it an emphasis to talk. He had many talks and meetings with Coach Lee. He had many talks with Coach Kitley of how he could be a better vocal leader in his growth as a leader, as a man, as a player. The steps that he's taken, I think that it's going to pay off for him in the season and down the road after the season and into the next level of football for him, because he's a total new player and man.
How much of that is because of age and just maturing, or does he have a jump on it over what would normally happen in a maturation process in college?
Yeah, no, it's him being an older guy, but I think it's also him, like, he was here last year. The majority of the D-line room is obviously, there's a lot of transfers. So I just think that, when he decided to come back too, the spring he wasn't like the leader he is now. The steps that he took from the spring game into now is, you can see it, he rubs off on, like, when he says something, like, everybody listens. So I just think that it's him being comfortable in his skin, and I think that's kind of been the biggest step, was a little bit of his age, but just getting comfortable being in that role.
If I'm right, the number one offensive group up front, 5, it's the same as it was in the spring, and continuity is such a big thing for an offensive line.
Yeah.
So is that a good thing that at least at the start of the camp it's those same 5 guys together?
100%. We didn't have Scarlett. We had him at the beginning of the camp, but having him back, I just think brought another level of confidence to Nonar's game, and I think that just yesterday, like, Nonar's a completely different player than he was in the spring too. He's just way more confident out there, and Scarlett being an older guy, having played a ton of football, I think it also makes Cunningham a lot more comfortable, and obviously me and Daughtry have a really good connection, so I just think we all bring something different to the table, and I just think that if we put that together, we're far from being a good unit, but like, I think that if we all put it together, we will be a really good unit.
Katrina talked about your leadership, and now you're playing next to a center who's very inexperienced in game situations because he was just a freshman last year. What's that process like of trying to help bring him along?
Yeah.
Because he's got to be the guy that ultimately makes the calls in a game.
Yeah. We're really lucky with the coach that we have, the offensive line coach we have, because he did play the position. But Braden is a lot further along than most redshirt freshmen are. And so he does a really good job of doing pretty much everything kind of at his own pace. But I just think kind of, sometimes they'll get like a young guy, it's hard to keep your confidence at a high level. If you lose a rep, kind of get in your head. I feel like just kind of reassuring him has been kind of the only thing I've really had to do, because Coach Handy's so hands-on with the centers that if it comes to like technique in football, like, he knows he's comfortable to ask Coach Handy, but like, I think having the reassurance of an older guy just be like, yo, dude, like, you're fine. Everybody loses a rep. I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I focused on with him.
Alex, you mentioned the staff and your offensive line coach. Can you just talk about Coach Handy and what type of impact he makes on you and the entirety of the offensive line every single day?
Yeah, I keep saying confidence, like, that's a big part of my game that I was trying to work on, was being a lot more confident. And I think as a unit last year, I just don't think we were very confident in our game. He just brings kind of like swagger to the unit, and offensive line is not, the flashiest. You're going to talk to a cornerback, and he's, that's the part of the game. Like, for an offensive lineman, he's like, let's have some swag with everything we do. Like, have a little bit, have an edge to yourself. So I just think he brought a chip to the unit. And he's an offensive line guy, so he's so relatable because he's played the position. He's done it at a high level. He had a few. I don't know how long he played in the NFL, but he was there. So it's just he's easy to relate to. He's always looking out for our best interests, and he's just a really good coach and a guy.
You mentioned Scarlett. Obviously, he went down last year early. You guys lost him for the majority of the season. May have got in there a little bit at the end, but how big is it for you guys having him back potentially at a tackle position?
Right now they're having him at guard, so I don't know how much they're really confident in Jacavion and Daughtry, but if there was a problem, like if someone had gotten hurt, he has the ability to play. He started 3 or 4 years on a NAIA team, and he was an All-American at the left tackle position. So just having his experience, if we do get a pinch with injury, it's huge because he's completely turned his look on football. The staff's done a great job of getting him in the mindset of building his love for the game again.
Alex, what are some of the things you're looking to improve during this fall camp?
Yeah, definitely want to we're looking to, from last year, I'm looking more to move the line of scrimmage in the run game. As a unit too, we really want to be able to move guys off the ball, but also in our pass protection, we were so used to kind of setting vertical last year in the pocket, kind of pressing back. We're trying to kind of move the D-line out this way. Coach Hamby's big on that, so just being a lot more aggressive and confident in our punches, and that's one thing that I'm trying to work on is my initial punch on the set against some of these tackles, and I get great work every single day against CJ and one-on-one, so that's probably those are the main few focuses.
Alex, the last 2 days when we checked out the offensive line, you guys were working with that black leverage ball and trying to do that. Can you just describe that drill and exactly what you were doing?
Yeah. So Coach Hamby loves medicine balls, and so if it's the front side of the inside zone, he's just working on. He loves to have violent hands, so it really helps to kind of imitate it being a defender, so you get your hands underneath your shoulder pads. So he's looking to use that ball so you can be violent. Now we're not just taking free shots at each other. It's kind of to save the defender, but it's also to kind of work on your hand and your hand speed and strength coming up out of your stance.
Alex, obviously the running back room is pretty much an entire overhaul from last year. What has it been like building the relationship with the new running backs?
Yeah. Jamari is a very talented player, and everyone will see that this year. But I've actually known Xavier Terrell since he was in 8th grade, because he played at IMG, and I was a senior when he was going into his freshman year. So I had played actually in our spring game of, I think it was 2019. So I've known X for a pretty long time, but it's a whole new room. Obviously, I think that was the other position group we didn't go in the portal for. So I think that should say a lot about how confident the staff is. But we all have a really good relationship, especially. I just think, them being so young, but I look at it as an advantage because they don't know, people don't see them coming. And I just think that last year, if you watched the Tulsa game, they showed why they're going to be a really good unit.
Like, no matter where you at, like football or not, somebody may be watching you. Like, you never know who knows you, like, when you play sports. So, you feel me, like, on Instagram, Snapchat, like, you're exposed to everybody in the world. Like, you may know someone, but you don't know who knows you. So I just feel like you should keep yourself at the highest standard at all times, like no matter where you at.
You were new in January, and then your room was probably affected the most by the portal with even more people coming in. How quickly was it for you to catch on and become a leader in that room? And then how hard has it been to bring in the other guys this summer and getting ready for the season?
Really, for me coming in, I wouldn't really say it was hard because of my coaching staff, like Coach Vanellis, Coach DB, Coach Don Bradshaw, is DB. They really brought me in. I know what I had to do. They worked with me. It really was a fast and smooth transition. And then about me being one of the leaders, I would say I just kind of took that role on for myself, just knowing what I want for the team and what I want for other people on my team's family. You gotta play for your brother. Their family depend on me. My family depend on them. So we gotta work together. And also about bringing the other players up with me. I would say at the beginning it was kind of hard because when you talk to someone like on my team, like in the defensive room, like when you talk, sometimes it might be like because of how you say it. So like they'll get a lot of attitude with you. But like as we start moving on and like start talking about it as a team, like the young fellas and like even the older guys started to like listen. Like even though like I'm younger than some of them, like they'll still tell me like, yeah, you right. Or like my young guys, if I'm doing something wrong, like they'll tell me and I'll say, yeah, you right. Like it's just a pride thing. Like you gotta put it to the side for sure.
That's one of those rooms that tends to get hit hard by injuries and can go down quickly. So it's almost a next man up mentality. Have you guys adopted that?
Yeah,
and working towards that?
Yeah, like we actually like work on it right now. I practice like next man up. Like you can't go, but if you can, like you push it, like you push it until like you can't go no more, and your brother got you. That's how we do it.
Questions?
Derrick, Katrina just mentioned you were doing the spring, you were at Purdue prior to FA for 2 seasons. What's the biggest difference from a Power 4 school to FA?
I would say the biggest difference is like FAU. Don't get me wrong, like we have the facilities, like we have everything that the other schools have. But I would say from my last university, I would just say like it was just bigger, like it just had more. But that don't really mean nothing to me, honestly. Like it's just about being on the field. Like it don't really matter like what I got. You feel me? Like all the rehab stuff, like we can use the bare minimum and still like be a great team. So it don't really matter to me.
Derrick obviously went to Jones in Orlando, and fellow teammate Jabari Smith went to Jones. What has that relationship been like between a wide receiver and a corner?
That relationship has been great because I actually played receiver next to Jabari in high school. I didn't play defense. And then I went to college at Purdue and I started playing defense. So it's really cool like talking to Jabari, like, oh, like I know that you finna run, like you feel me, because I just got like the knowledge from both sides of the ball. So it'd be kind of fun to just trash talking to my old teammate for sure.
What does it feel like when you're going against top wide receivers in the country?
It feels like, it gives me like a happy, like really happy, but also really anxious, like just because I want to like show the world that I can do it, like, and show them like, oh, okay, like this what y'all watching, like let me show you this, like you feel me? Yeah.